Hey everyone, welcome back to another update. Today we're zeroing in on the high stakes drama in Washington and beyond, a potential government shutdown over immigration enforcement, delicate talks with Iran that could tip into conflict, the end of a key nuclear arms pact with Russia, midterm election jitters, and a nail biter Democratic primary in New Jersey. Let's get into it. Yesterday marked a critical escalation in the fight over funding the Department of Homeland Security, with its budget set to expire next week. Democrats are digging in, threatening to block any extension unless there are dramatic changes and real accountability for ICE and other agencies executing President Trump's aggressive immigration enforcement pushes, from Minneapolis to nationwide raids. Their specific demands include requiring ICE officers to unmask and identify themselves during operations, obtain judicial warrants in sensitive cases, and coordinate with local authorities to avoid overreach. This comes amid backlash over incidents like the January shootings of two U.S. citizens by ICE in Minneapolis, which has swamped local prosecutors and sidelined other priorities. Republicans, meanwhile, are countering with their own riders, mandating proof of citizenship for voter registration and cracking down on sanctuary cities that limit federal cooperation. Senate Majority Leader John Thune admitted Congress isn't anywhere close to a deal, with talks spilling into the weekend, and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer fired back, saying Republicans lack unity. They have different people going in different directions. They've got to get their act together. The White House signaled Trump might bend on some ICE reforms, but others are non starters, according to Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. This isn't just about borders, it's a proxy war for broader Trump era policy. The DHS Inspector General is probing hiring practices, interior enforcement, and expedited removals under the crackdown. A second federal judge blocked the IRS from sharing taxpayer data with ICE, citing privacy violations and risks to citizens. And in swing districts like New York's suburbs, the deportation surge is fracturing coalitions, pressuring moderate Democrats and pro Trump Republicans alike. Trump publicly backed DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, whose leadership has faced scrutiny post Minneapolis, saying her job is safe. If no deal materializes, we're staring down a partial shutdown that could ripple through airports, disaster response, and more. Shifting to foreign policy, U.S. officials tempered expectations for the direct talks with Iran that began in Oman following weeks of Trump's threats to strike if Tehran doesn't bend on its nuclear program. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the State Department advised all U.S. citizens in Iran to leave Iran now or to have a plan for departing that does not rely on the U.S. government for help. However, President Trump prefers a diplomatic win and will get briefed by his envoys, real estate mogul Steve Witkoff and son-in-law Jared Kushner, who lead the U.S. delegation opposite Iran's foreign minister. This comes amid deep rifts, Iran's recent tanker seizures and threats in the Strait of Hormuz, plus nationwide protests shaking the regime. Arab allies, still on edge, hope their warnings to the U.S. have sunk in. Trump has stood by for updates, but the low-key approach suggests realism about a breakthrough. If talks falter, expect oil market volatility and heightened military postures. This could define U.S. Middle East strategy in 2026. In a blow to global security, the New START Treaty, the last major U.S.-Russia arms control pact, officially expired yesterday, removing caps on deployed nuclear warheads and delivery systems. Trump declined to extend it, calling instead for a new, improved, and modernized deal. Former Ambassador Michael McFaul called it tragic, warning the world is inherently more dangerous without limits, and critiqued the administration's approach of sending non-experts to negotiate. This ties into broader U.S.-China tensions. Discussions yesterday highlighted Xi Jinping's power grab, including ousting a top general ahead of the 2026 Party Congress, making Beijing a black box for intel. Trump's geopolitics are even spilling into the Winter Olympics, where U.S. allies relish beating American teams amid alliance strains. With midterms looming, concerns over election integrity ramped up. Trump defended National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard's role in searching a Georgia elections office for fraud, calling it more than appropriate. He pushed the Save America Act for voter ID and suggested nationalizing elections in key spots to combat alleged cheating, echoing replacement theory claims about immigrants voting illegally. The White House insists it's just about ID laws, not federal takeovers, but David French in The Times argues a new law could safeguard the vote, as Trump signals he'll only accept mega wins. Meanwhile, New Jersey's special Democratic primary for the 11th district to replace Governor Mikey Sherrill remains too close to call. Progressive activist Anna Lilia Meja leads former Representative Tom Malinowski by about 500 votes out of 61,000, with mail-ins and provisionals still pending. Meja, backed by Bernie Sanders and AOC, vows to rebuild the party and fight a rigged economy for billionaires, while Malinowski positions himself as the anti-Trump fighter despite AIPAC-linked attacks over Israel aid. The winner faces a Republican in April for the swing seat, a bellwether for Democratic unity. Now it's time for the noteworthy tidbits, which are brought to you today by Old Glory. Let me tell you about them quick. Are you looking for a gift for a music lover, or maybe some apparel to show off your quirky side? Old Glory has you covered. With over 300,000 officially licensed items covering music, sports, entertainment, and pop culture, you're guaranteed to find the perfect item. They even have seasonal gear. My husband enjoys the Beatles and Led Zeppelin apparel, and I love the Billy Idol apparel. I even found items for my fellow plant enthusiasts. This family-owned superstore is known for their quality and customer service, offers free standard shipping on all orders, and orders are shipped the same day you purchase. My discount code gives you 15% off your entire order, and it's currently the best deal available. Just visit oldglory.com and enter in my promo code JADE, that's JADE, at checkout. All right, let's get back to the tidbits. The White House launched Trump RX, offering discounts on several dozen drugs, though experts question if it'll broadly lower costs for most Americans. AOC and New York House Democrats endorsed Governor Kathy Hochul's reelection, bridging progressive moderate divides. Tech donors poured over $3 million into San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan's California gubernatorial bid, boosting the moderate tech-friendly candidate. Florida's GOP push for mid-decade redistricting hit its first lawsuit, key for 2026 House control. Trump endorsed Hungary's Viktor Orban for re-election and announced a March White House visit from Japan's prime minister. In Venezuela, Maduro ally Alex Saab was arrested again, according to U.S. officials. A man was arrested for allegedly plotting to assassinate Office of Management and Budget Director Russ Vought, showing up at Vaught's home to confront him about Project 2025. Lastly, allies showed solidarity in Greenland's capital amid Trump's territorial threats. That's all I have for today. Will the DHS fight force a shutdown or spark compromise? How will nuclear uncertainty reshape alliances? Share your takes on X or Instagram at Shades of Jade Pod. If you value this deep dive, subscribe, review, and tell a friend. Thank you for listening and have a great day.